ini bersama gua player baru ya di channelnya di KINGKONG. Kali ini akan bermain game BIOMUTAN, dan sebuah game yang dikembangkan di Swedia dan studio yang tidak terlalu besar, yaitu 101, dan masih menjadi bagian dari seksi Nordic. Yang pertama, pada game ini kita bisa membuat karakter kita sendiri ya, tentunya seekor BIOMUTAN, dimana game ini menyediakan 6 DNA untuk kita pilih sendiri ya. Oke, kita bakal lanjutin saja ya.
Welcome to Biomutant.
Oke, pertama-tama jangan lupa di subscribe, like, komen ya.
Encode your DNA.
Kita pakai primal aja, pilih jenis pakai primal. Berikutnya
Define your genetic structure. Choose a genetic resilience. Choose your first style. Pick your main color. Choose your detail color.
oke,
Pick a class. Command saboteur.
saboteur aja ya. Dan dual with jarak dekat bersama data untuk memakai bersamaan. Tulisan yang lagi.
Saboteur chosen.
Oke,
Sounds good. Here's somebody with a troubled past, drawn into the spotlight of a story that's already begun.
lumayan mantap grafiknya ya.
But for you, it's not only a crossroad, but a choice. A reflection of your key, the primal energy that flows through everything.
Pilih yang kiri aja ya.
Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the dark side of you, your inner voice to be precise, an echo of the balance and consequence of your actions as you move forward.
Adalah bagian dari kegelapan.
Can't believe you'd choose that thing over me. But I'll be here waiting for you when you have a change of heart.
That thing?
Better half. My way is both better and brighter. Light makes it easier to see the best end.
The best end is the one you decide yourself, and it seems we're headed in the right direction.
Betul ya, yang putih ya.
Guess left can be right sometimes. Stories of death and the bodies left behind, a reminder that we're at the mercy of nature and the one that preys on others.
Apa ini, daging?
Do you remember the beast that shattered your family, or did you choose to forget? You turned your back on our world and got lost in your own. Meanwhile, the predator only grew stronger.
Lumayan nak. Oke. Sabarlah. Aduh, kena. Oke, satu tangkis. Tangkis lah. Oh, bisa tangkis. Sih. Nggak bisa tangkis tuh. Kayak mana tangkisnya nih? Oke. Oke. Kali peta. Wow, mantap.
You'd better make a run for it. This is not the
Tarik.
time nor place to end this story.
Boom. Boom, cuk. BIOMUTAN.
This time, it was best to run and live to fight another day. Let us hope you're ready for it when it comes.
Ada bom, cuk. Oke. Boom.
The predator isn't the only threat. The wildlife started to mutate when the end of days began, and the tree of life started to die.
Ini berperang ya. Jadi kamera ke arah satu musuh untuk mengikatkan mereka.
Finish 'em.
Mati. Mana ini? Oke, kelar. Udah buka pintu. Pintu. Modul listrik langsung menunjukkan break. Ada juga orang nggak salah. Ini ke atas ya.
The oil sludges everywhere. To most, it only means death, but some have adapted to the new environment, changed with it. Evolution has its ways.
Tangkis ya. Oke, Oke, mati ya, mati. Mati. Yes. Bentar. Itu. Ahem.
Slicing dice.
Gak mati-mati, Cok. Waduh,
You're harmed.
ya terluka. Udah ini dulu. Kalau sebelum perisai, kamu harus menghancurkan perisai. Waduh. Pusat. Waduh. Yang naikkan level. Oke. Ini dari balas. Oke. Daya hidup aja dulu ya.
Victualed up your vitals.
Ya. Ya. Ya, letak segitu dia.
Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight.
Ini macam mana ya?
That pipe looks weak. The claw bar should come in handy.
Aja. Masuk dalam.
Whoa!
Oh,
It's time to find a way out of this place. No, really, I mean it. The morks produce biomatter in their multi-organ that they shed under the stress. Blobs that affect the cellular coding strands of any living being when absorbed, including you.
entah.
You always find good use for things like that.
Bentar. Bos.
Don't let go. Toxanol built vessels called arks to save themselves from the impending doom. But was it too late? It is only from the flight logs of the single ark they left behind that we know other arks travelled through the sky and beyond. It seems those that came before us never lost hope in finding. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There are few records of the chain of events that led to the big apocalypse eons ago, but it's clear the world wasn't prepared for how recklessly the Toxanol Corporation would make its mark on the world. Their rare earth mining and nuclear industries generated tons of waste, and, without consideration for the future, they dumped it all in landfills until they ran out of space. That's when they made the big mistake. Once in the surf, the radiation interfered with the genetics of the wildlife and created bizarre mutations in their offspring. It had an inconceivable impact on biodiversity and the entire ecosystem. The world as they knew it crumbled as nature retaliated. It would never be the same again, and what remained of it became ours.
Jadiannya ya.
The sound of spark metal going pew-pew is never a good thing. It's coming from behind that door. A warning label. The box looks like a potential brain melt. It's going to take a bit of puzzling to short-circuit the door. Just a few moves left. Make them count. There you go. There you go.
Memaras musuh nggak? Musuh setrum.
The wheeled one is outnumbered. You'd better help him out.
Akan mental membantunya ya.
Hot metal. Chop chop.
Bentar.
That's the last of them. Let's talk to the wheeled one before backup arrives.
Dan
He wants to thank you for taking his side against the scavengers. He sounds familiar. You just can't figure out why. He presents himself as out of date. He knows he's way overdue, but he hasn't given up. He doesn't seem surprised that you don't recognize him. You were just a child back then. There have been rumors of a one-eyed Ronin seen outside the Great Wall, and he's the legend of the one-eyed child that grew up as an outcast is old and sad. The child could have been anyone, but the evil it had fled had left a mark, a facial scar to remember the past. There's no doubt you're the child, and that what Lupa Lupin did to your village, your Muma and Popsy, was the beginning of the end. He says it has taken you a long time to bring the past back up to the present, to find your way back, but he's grateful you have. It was after the attack that the unity fell apart. Your Muma's disciples divided and formed tribes as a reaction to the blight that had fallen upon the land. Had it not been for the Tree of Life, no one would have survived. He hopes you at least remember the tree.
Oke.
Asks if you are tired, as it's a bit of a hike here from the village. He wonders if your Muma knows you are here. You're such a good child, so you probably did. Even the young forget. He understands why you came all the way out here, to see them, the potato people. The potato people, or Nono, are a wonder, somehow interlinked with this little tree here, fueling its source of life. You might be right. Like potatoes, they're packed with energy, and the Nono prefer to hide in...
Oke. Kecil lah. Sini ya. Ini sini. Acak-acak. Menemukan satu
You
banggalan.
found one. You should be proud. They don't come out for everyone. The Nono's ki energy is just what the Pensai needs to complete its cycle and grow into a tree of life.
Bisa siapa?
The small tree you saw up there where you met will eventually grow into a tree of life and start giving back to nature. It'll be the heart of the land. You'll need to support the tree for a long time to come. The only way it'll grow tall is with the burst of ki released from the Nono as they become one with the tree. You'll need a net to catch the Nono, and he wants you to use his, but asks you to be gentle. The Nono are sensitive beings, an embodiment of ki, the primal energy. You handle that net like you've never done anything else. He's impressed. But today, your focus is getting this one to become one with the tree. Now that you've seen the Nono's connection with the tree with your own eyes, you have no reason to doubt. From this day on, he'll make nurturing the Pensai in... One day, the land won't be as peaceful. Not even your Muma will be able to protect us. He says you'd better hurry back to the village before your Muma comes looking for you. You did good here today. No, she's got lots on her mind and needs rest after the raid last night on the Lupin camp with her disciples. Wonders if they let the Predator family live or not.
Kembali lagi ya.
He lost you there for a while, but no memory is alone. He says he remembers every single day he devoted to growing the tree of life, but now he's afraid it might be in vain. The tree started to die when the end of days begun, and it wasn't long after that that the World Eaters arrived.
Ya.
The genetic evolution that occurred after the apocalypse that Toxanol Corporation inflicted on the land set the World Eaters' DNA into overdrive.
Oke, udah dibuka beta. Mau kemana
His
kita?
friend Gizmo is working on a Mekton and needs help defeating the Jumbo Puff at the end of the West Route.
Oke.
Wiz is still repairing his octopod to confront the Merc Puff that dwells deep down under the surface at the end of the Northwest Route. Noko has tamed the Midget
Apa, udah
and is
berbulu.
preparing to take on the Hoof Puff at the end of the East Route. Finally, Goop is almost done with the Goo Glide, a machine able to ride the waves of the surf all the way out to the Porky Puff at the end of the route to the southeast. Out of Date says his friends are gearing up to stop the World Eaters. There's one at the end of each route. The road ahead won't be easy, but he's counting on your support. His friends aren't strong enough to end this on their own. He wants you to understand that regardless, you'll meet again once you've played your part in the tribe war and the situation with the world eaters.
Siapa nih? Oh, dikasih ini. Jaring. Keluar dari bunker. Bentar. Main ke sini.
You're getting the hang of it. Quickest way out is through the roof where they came in, and the rope looks strong enough to climb.
Naik ke puncak gunung. Giting.
Know that the tree of life is dying. Its days are numbered. Without help, it can't endure the environmental change and assault from the world eaters.
BIOMUTAN. Mantap.
A signpost maps it out for the cartographically challenged.
Buka map soalnya. Lihat.
Let's see.
Dari buka map ya. Berikutnya bisa dengan cepat mencapai 1. Oke. Ada juga pesrapper ya. Oh, ada monster cok, besar kali. Kayaknya belum bisa lawan ya, level masih kecil.
That must be the world eater that chewed off Out of Date's leg. You'll need a hat trick to bring that down.
Saya.
Look, a survivor. Glad to see someone made it out alive.
Game ini berat ya, sampai nge-frame tadi.
He's heard the stories about the terror inflicted by the world eaters to other enclaves. He worries there won't be much left to save if this continues, even if the Tree of Life survives the attack. He doesn't know what your connection is to this place, but something tells him you've stayed true to your heart. He can't understand why you do such a thing. He won't make it out of here on his own.
Good work, clever clogs. Let me guide you into the dark.
Seriously? I always thought better of you than that.
And you were wrong. There's always more dark than light.
There's still time to turn back.
They're already heading
Perang
down
sama
my
gelap.
road.
Sini ya, berantem ya. Dipukul yang perang ya. Itu nge-friend. Bukan PC juga berikut. Kali bung.
There's Out of Date again. He must have missed something important.
Penting situ kita ya.
Out of Date knows you'll make a better stand against the world eaters with the support of a tribe, and there's 2 nearby. The Jagni tribe is likely to be your primary choice as they seek to become omnipresent and, most importantly, feared. Regardless of who you choose, it won't be easy. The Myriad's conviction to stop the World Eaters began when the Leviathans rose from the depths of the surf. Siding with the Myriad's movement for wholeness in a fragmented world might seem like the logical thing to do, but is it the right thing? One thing's certain, though. Destiny arrives all the same. The Jagni tribe only ever had one conviction: to bring balance to the world by wiping out the weak. They believe a cleansing is necessary to restore the world and want to let the World Eaters bring down the Tree of Life. But siding with Jagni isn't necessarily a bad thing. Fate will find a way. Out of Date says someone needs to break the stalemate and shift the balance of power to either Jagni's or Myriad's side. He believes the tribe Sifus, Jagni especially, will listen to you and expects you to pay at least one of them a visit and play your part. Another fork in the road. It's either the tunnel or the motor bridge. What'll it be?
Rem, Cuk. Bentar.
Bagi-bagi pikir.
It's unusual that natural tunnels like this still exist. Most of them got flooded. You don't have the key energy for that. Slash and dash.
Oke, naik level 3. Hah?
Itu dah.
This area was beautiful before the tribe war began. Look at it now. It's a war zone.
Lihat di korongan. Tahu nggak? Pisau, Cuk. Ya, Cuk. Iya dong.
Pajak. Jalan pajak. Anjing lah.
That's the myriad tribe's fortress. Will they be friends or foe? You should head up there. That way you'll know. Let's see. It's a beaten path to that door. If you go there, you'd better make an entrance.
But I kill it realize
Says they're wary of strangers. They're at war.
cliff to liften.
Points out.
Sibi? La fanen a ginkan man. Gerat na fal hutut mus. Tu gai la wute. Karap la
The
wute
myriad
gal
tribe
wai.
act on understanding of the greater good and a code of honor. They believe uniting the tribes is the only way to restore the peace. The sifu is convinced that defeating the world eaters and saving the tree of life is the only way to make the world a better place.
Apa
He
pos-
welcomes you to the Myriad Fort and introduces himself as the tribe's sifu.
Tohohotin na.
But he was hoping you'd show up. The news of a vigilante Ronin on crusade crossing the Great Wall through the crack in Bunker 101 has preceded you.
Schleine furut na mika.
He heard you took out-of-date side against the scavengers in Bunker 101. It seems you believe in helping your next. And that
Tu gula ma mosse.
there's something about your spirit that sparks memories of you.
Gal wai.
The sifu says sometimes one memory can make another come to life. He hasn't thought about your Muma for ages, even though she taught him a lot. He was one of the original Wang Fu disciples.
Herim denken al wesse ane.
Your Muma invented Wang Fu. Originally, it consisted of unarmed combat and the 6 weapons: the boomerang, the shuriken, the bow, the staff, the nunchuk, and the hook and chain.
Herim denken al wesse ane.
Myriad says there has to be some dark so that light can prove its purity above it, and promises this will happen if you help them unite the tribes, defeat the world eaters, and save the tree of life.
Gala to fole.
He had a feeling you'd say that, and it's too bad. He wished you'd follow your heart instead of your mind. A light heart lives long. He thinks you should reconsider and follow your heart instead of your mind. Otherwise, he'll have no choice but to treat you as a rival.
Wala, sekada bodo.
He offers you to return and take your place at his side when you've found out you've picked the wrong one.
Fire free.
And with that, he urges you to seek protection at Jackney's Stick Fort as soon as you can. He won't be able to guarantee your safety now.
Kira gedengin hiram.
The Jagney got the short end of the stick after the attack on the old village. When the Myriad moved into the fort your Muma envisioned, the Jagney built their own fort from the ground up.
Gine afirma gatano shubu bodo.
Goodbyes are not forever. They're not the end. He
aliansi ya.
Cliff to Fliftum.
says they're cautious of non-allies.
Uba Habadi.
Has split.
Paling ke bawah, Cok. Maaf dulu ya. Oke ya, sampai di sini dulu. Ntar disambung lagi di part 2-nya ya. Tadi udah bertemu sifu dan menjadi rival aja, belum jadi anggota ya. Kita di part 2 bakalan aliansi dengan Jackney ya. Oke, terima kasih sudah nonton. Jangan lupa like dan subscribe ya. See you.